everybody, welcome back to my creative space. This is Emma on a beautiful hot summer's day. Well, it's hot-ish for Cumbria. It's pretty warm and it's been lovely, and I'm so grateful to have sunshine and summer. Oh, you just can't beat it, can you? You know, that sunshine, it's just rejuvenating. All together it's rejuvenating. I'm sorry if it's a bit hot where you are, but I am just loving this. You know, we've had so much rain and cold and we've had winter. It's just a joy to, it's like, it just brings you back to life, doesn't it, when there's a bit of sunshine out there. And you can tell because everybody's smiling. Everybody you meet when you go out into town or shopping or whatever, everybody at work, they've got a smile on their faces. It's just joyful. So, goodness me, here we are. It's nearly what I call the end of term, so I'm feeling a bit end of termish here. I thought I'd wear my wearable art that I made out of my cotton reels in one of my recent videos, just for a laugh. This was what I made to hang on a dummy that I had on our exhibition, our biggish exhibition. It was pretty big for us as a small group. It was a big exhibition, and this was what I made, and I just love it. I think it's a real cool piece of fun. So if anybody fancies making one, there is a recent video which tells you how I did it. So I am in the process. Next time you see me, I'll be in a different place. I'm going to be in a different room, and I'm going to be moving out of here. I've been in here for, I don't know, 20 years or something, quite a long time anyway. So I'm having a massive another massive clear out, and it just feels so good. I feel like I'm moving house. You know, when you're getting all your treasures out and all your stuff that you've had in cupboards and the back of drawers for far too long, and I want to really assess everything that's going into my new space with me. It's not my final new space, it's kind of an interim place. I'm in a transitionary sort of state while we get other things ready. I feel like some things are going out, some things are coming in. It's just really joyful, and it's all change, and it's reflecting the change in me, what I want to be doing, what I want to be focusing on going forward. And it's a bit difficult, it's a bit painful, it's a bit challenging, but underneath it all is just this sense of it's the right thing to be doing, and I'm really quite excited about it. It's an opportunity to get rid of more stuff that I don't need, I don't want, and it goes to a local charity shop. There's a hospice shop not far from here, and they actually come in a van and take some of it away for me, which is just wonderful. And I think, well, that's going to a good cause, and I get the space. I'm creating space for me, I'm creating space for my creativity and whatever it is, as I say, that I'm going to be going forward in time. So I'm going to be taking 2 weeks off after this. It's time for my summer holidays, when I just knock off from everything. And actually I've got, you know, enough stuff going on down here to keep me going for a bit. We're having a little staycation. There's an elderly cat in our kitchen who needs a lot of TLC, so we're just not going anywhere. And to be honest, when I live where I live, I don't need a holiday as such. I might just have some days out or something and allow myself to do things I wouldn't normally do, so it feels like a holiday. But I'm just excited to be revisiting some of my stuff, as I say, clearing things out, making space. And I just hope you're going to have a lovely couple of weeks for the last bit of August, going into September. And I feel you can feel that lovely shift, can't you, almost? It's just tangible. We know that summer's going to be this beautiful end of summer. We've got the whole of August to go, but you know, September is coming, and I love that again. It's like that back to school thing, isn't it, where you just have a fresh start. So very much a fresh start for me, and I'm so looking forward to seeing you all again. I hope you'll enjoy this little video, and I will be back in September. So what I've got here is a tangle of lace that I had in my box, and it's all kinds of lace. I'm not even sure where I got most of it from. Some of it I think might have been from my grandmother's stash. Some of it is stuff I used to pick up at the market. I don't know, here and there I've picked up all sorts of bits. So what I'm going to try and do is pick it out and iron it and make it into nice little bundles so that people can at least see how pretty it is, and then if they want to use it for something. I did used to use it for quite a lot of my work. I used to use it on surfaces and stitching things down, and I don't know, all sorts of things I've used it for in the past. But obviously, as you can see, I've got quite a lot of it left, so I'm going to just organise it, arrange it, sort it, and then, you know, as I iron it, it'll look nicer for people. So I'm just sort of thinking, well, what else could I be doing? It's a Sunday afternoon. What nicer activity could there be than just messing about with these bits of lace and stuff and having the sort out? How lovely. And actually it's quite nice to revisit because, as I say, this is a lot of stuff that I bought when I was young, you know, with a view to doing things with them as usual. You know, you end up with a stash of stuff that you never end up actually using. But there's a pleasure, isn't there, in actually looking through things and seeing what you've got and what you might like to use them for. And these laces are so pretty. You have to admire the handwork that went into them. You know, from the days when ladies sat around all day, if they weren't scrubbing floors and earning a hard living, they sat around and made lace. Or maybe they had a hard living and made lace, or perhaps they were lace makers. I once learned a fascinating thing, which is that the lace makers and the dressmakers, when they were making all these fine garments for the ladies, they actually left behind in the fabric of these things a little bit of their DNA, so that the lace makers were actually with the ladies when they wore their fine dresses. Those poor lace makers actually were sort of in the fabric of the dresses. Quite fascinating thought. The question is just how short is too short to be of use? And I don't know the answer to that, but I just think every little scrap of this is so precious because somebody has made it, or somebody's been working in the factory making it. Sometimes they're machine made, I think, not necessarily handmade. But you know, somebody's had a hand in making them. They've been crafted, and they've got their own beauty and their own charm. And you know, who am I to say no? You need to be recycled now. Little bits like that. You know, if I was still doing things with lace, these would be just fine because I often used to use, you know, little short lengths to put onto cards or things like that. So there we go. Yes. What is too short? What is too short? So this is a very rare sight, isn't it? You don't often see me ironing things, but I thought, well, if I iron these ribbons, they'll be much more attractive to people. They might feel like they want to use them for something. I have to say, I didn't realise quite how much of these things I had. And it's quite nice. I've been enjoying just going through my things, seeing what I've got. Very simple job doing these things. Very simple little job, but I think there's a lot of pleasure to be had, isn't there, in going through your things and just arranging, rearranging, paying attention to all the things that you've just shoved in a box and kind of forgotten about. And then somebody else might just want to use them. I just had these really nice little boxes which I had my ribbons and things in, but they were in a complete hoolie, and what you're seeing now is a nicely rearranged version. They're really nice, these boxes. They're just plastic, but they're like a plastic shoe box, so they all have different coloured lids, and these to just stack up on one of my shelves. So I've bagged up my nice ribbons that I've just ironed, so these can all go in here, all my different ones. As I say, how short is a ribbon before you actually decide it's no good? That's my question. I'm going to let other people decide. So I'm going to be showing these to some of my my Fabricate group and anybody else that might like a little bit of haberdashery. You know, all these things that I've had all these years that I've never really used, and some of them are from my childhood possibly, and some of them are from my grandmother. Who knows? So it's very satisfying to get it to a sort of a state where it's tidy and orderly. So at least I know what I've got and I know what's going to be going out. So I know what I've got. There we go. So this is my lace ones. So I've kind of bagged up all the little bits that are really too short to be of use. I've kind of put in there because, you know, somebody who's making cards or something might like a few of them. And I've ironed things as I showed you, and I've bagged things up because some of these, I reckon some of these might be 100 years old, some of them. They certainly belong to my grandmother, and they would have been making them into, you know, blouses and decorating night dresses with them. I don't know, my great grandmother had little, you know, they were Victorians, they wore all sorts of lacy things. It was the fashion. And this little bag has got, I'll show you these. These are exquisite little things. These are little tiny decorations that I think you would have put onto, you know, to decorate a dress or something. There's hundreds of them and they're really beautiful, but I don't know what to do with them, so I am handing them over to somebody else for their imagination to make the most of. So this is a nice little stash of silvery ribbons that I used to use for Christmassy things, which I don't think I'm going to be doing anymore. I used to make a lot of things for Christmas. We used to have a sale every year with some friends of mine. We used to do art and craft stuff for Christmas, and it was wonderful. For about 10 years I did that, and I made all sorts of different things, including my artwork and some crafty things. But I think somebody else might just love to have a nice bag of silver ribbons. There's another little bit there, a little bit there. Let's put those in there. Okay. And these, honestly, I could have a haberdasher's shop with all the things that I've got here, all the things I've bought to do other things with. And I think, well, I would much rather these things went to a new home. Let's just see if I can fix this one. I'd much rather these things went to a nice new home and were used by somebody than sitting in a cupboard in my creative space when they could be in somebody else's and being used. Gosh, you don't realise how much stuff you've got, do you, till you go looking. Oh dear, but never mind. Ooh, see, there's a little bit. Let's pop that in there. So I'll probably let them go in this basket and people can have a rummage. What else have we got? Well, I've sorted through all of these. These were a lot of my threads. I used some of them recently on one of my projects. Some of them were dyed by a friend of mine, my friend Jane, and I kind of inherited them when sadly she passed away and her husband gave away all her stuff. And this is the sort of thing, isn't it? I was saying to somebody, what we need in town is a shop where you can go and take all your crafts stuff, all your supplies that you're not going to be using, or if somebody's passed on and, you know, isn't here to use them, let's get them out and share them. Let's not have to buy new stuff. Let's just, you know, let's share what we've got, and other people could make a little bit of money for charity or something. So these are really pretty. So I've got a box of those, and I've got a box of different coloured ones as well, some in bags. I've kept some, but I'm getting rid of the bulk of it, I would say. Aren't they just gorgeous colours? And in here, well, this is a real ramshackle collection. Some of these, again, belong to my grandmother, I should think, and my mother. You know, lovely old things with guaranteed rustless rolled edges, prevent cutting thread, guide hole for correct locating, recessed sewing holes for perfect closing. Just fantastic, you know. And those are more modern. Those will be from when I was younger, I think. And yeah, so a mixture of those. Some of them I'll keep, some of them I will get rid of. Look at this beautiful bias binding, and it's got its original packaging with a parrot on it, a parakeet, and it says boil proof dyes, no soda or chemicals to be used. It's guaranteed, this tape is absolutely guaranteed to be fast against light, against washing, and against any usages to which colours are subjected in wear or in laundering. Well, that's very reassuring, isn't it? That's marvellous. Not sure why it hasn't been used, but there we go. And I've got various other red ones here as well. I've got some pretty little things that I bought. This was some stuff that came from my grandmother's, I think, from her little stash. Just sort of edging ribbons. So that lot's in there. I've got some zips that I've taken out of things. You know, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what's going to happen to those. I'm not sure who or what would be interested in those. And then my glorious stash of little bits of thread. This is the problem, isn't it? When you've been brought up to be thrifty, you just keep everything. And I have had these like represent everything I've ever made. And you know when you've got some thread left on your bottom spool after sewing, I would say a lot of these, that's where a lot of this has come from. And I've taken it off the spool in order to put another colour on. And then they've sat in this basket for the last 20 years. So I have no idea what to do with these. It's very frustrating, isn't it? These spools, they're plastic. What do you do with them? I don't know. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those. I'll have to think of something. I mean, these are rather too big. You know, I made a little necklace as I showed you. But these are really rather big for that. So if anybody's got any suggestions of what you can do with these things, please leave me a suggestion in the comments. See, that's not so bad. They're quite small. And these ones, you see, I'll show you these are lovely because these are probably my grandmother's. In fact, one of them had her name on it. Here we go, here we go. There we go, that's got my grandmother's name on it. And that's just so sweet, isn't it? I've got that little connection with her. And these are beautiful old wooden ones. You see, wooden ones, you know, they can decompose and they last forever for starters, and they're absolutely beautiful. So I won't be getting rid of those, I have to say. They can come with me to my new creative space. Dear oh dear, yes. My grandmother used to keep, what we jokingly used to say in the family, well, she used to keep paper bags in a drawer in her kitchen because she lived through 2 world wars. And, you know, it made you very thrifty, it made you very conservative with your things and appreciate everything from a time when you didn't have things. And now we have so much. But we did used to joke that, you know, pieces of string too short to be of use is a saying in our family. You know, keeping things that really don't have a use. But because I think when you make things, don't you find, you just keep things because you think, well, that might come in handy. But now I'm having to clear out, so I'm having to really sift and sort. So this is me. Things are slowly emptying out. I've got empty shelves now behind me, which is very exciting. I've got piles of stuff everywhere that I've got to sort of decide where it's going, what's going to happen to it, whether I'm keeping it or letting it go. It's all very exciting, and I'm trying to make it fun. I'm trying not to make it heavy. I'm putting the music on and dancing around the studio and just sort of having some fun because this has been my party space for the last, I don't know, however many years. And I'm sad to be leaving it, but I'm glad because it's exciting to see what's going to be coming next, who I am going to be next. So I will welcome you into my new, well, sort of temporary space next time I see you. Have a wonderful couple of weeks or so without me, and I'll be back before you know it. Enjoy the end of August, whatever that means for you, and just have some fun. Eat an ice cream in the garden, enjoy the sunshine if that's what you've got going on. Even if it's winter, go in the garden and eat an ice cream. Why not? And I'll see you again very soon. Thank you so much for being here. Bye for now.